Okay, cool. All right, fine. You know what? No PTO days. Look, it's crazy. It's been over a year. Salute to my business partner, Abdullah Saway. Don, it's my first episode without my business partner, but we're in the A. You know what I mean? So I'm going to let y'all introduce yourselves, and we'll start on the right end with my man, Jax.
Oh man, Jackson 1616, JAXON 1616, content creator, video production, business owner, Emmy Award winner,
Talk your shit.
all that, man. Jackson, not Jax Productions. What's going on? How y'all doing?
I'm good, good.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, no problem.
And Marissa here. I live here in the A, so yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I know you got a lot going on, so that's not it. What else you got going on?
So I started my own business this year, so that's really exciting. Marketing, social media marketing, and then just working full time on top of that. So trying to get things rolling on my own here. So yeah.
Cool. So yeah, hopefully, I know Jax, you might have watched a couple of the episodes, but no PTO days. When we created it, it was just like a safe space for like creatives, entrepreneurs, aspiring entrepreneurs, and by any means, like a lot of people think entrepreneurs, you have to like not have a job and still be like, you can be an entrepreneur working your job, you still going through the same struggles trying to transition or make money for yourself. So I today we just gonna have an open concept talk what everybody got going on. One of the topics I'm definitely thinking about, I know Jax, when I looked at some of your content recently, like the hoodie that you got on right now, that's your shit. You was like create your own shit, which I love that. So let's start with that. Like, what even made you create your own brand within? Because I know you do videography, you do content. This is my guy. Yeah. We trying to get him his elitism chain signed officially. But yeah.
Every like year I try to come out with some kind of merch or whatever. First year it was like I was real heavy on like the podcasting, which my podcast is called One Mic Stand, and I did an episode where I was talking about duality of black people and of niggas, and I had a shirt that said duality, nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was just a quote. And then the second year, some of my merch was saying my culture has always created the cool. I made Scullies, hoodies, crop tops, sweatshirts, whatever. And then this year, I was really just trying to come out with something different. Trying to come out with something that would be catchy, but cool, but original, like all at the same time. And to be honest with you, over my years of podcasting, I've seen people who have like larger followings than me, but somehow, some way, oddly, some content that I would create like a year or two ago, somebody else would kind of create the same thing, but like remix it and get more love from it and more popularity and notoriety from it because their audience was bigger.
Yep. How does that make you feel?
It's like it makes you feel sometimes upset, sometimes a little envious, but then at the same time, kind of inspiring, knowing that people see you, because a lot of the things about social media, we kind of get sucked into feeling like people don't see you, or don't see us, or don't see me. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, nah, they really do see you, but I think sometimes people see that also you're not as renowned as maybe they are. So I think it sometimes makes people feel comfortable being able to kind of like take your shit and remix it and use it as their own or whatever. So that kind of, I was trying to come up with a way of passively aggressively throwing a subliminal shot, but also making it dope in the same breath.
Dope.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Because you can't steal that. You can't still create your own shit.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? 'Cause like this is my shit that I created and it's stamped all over me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So you can steal a lot of shit, but you can't steal this. So that's really just how I came up with it.
I feel like people should just give other people their flowers when I mean, like, you came up with the stuff, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And how hard is it just to tag someone and be like, hey,
Yeah.
inspired by, you know what I mean?
Yeah, but to be honest, I think it is difficult for some people when it's hard because creating things are difficult. It is difficult, right? So like, imagine if you see somebody who continuously is putting out different content, good content, dope content, it's quality, it look nice, people fuck with it, it's funny, it's controversial, it's polarizing, and you know that their audience isn't as popping as yours, but you are over there struggling trying to come up with new things and new ways of opening people's mind up and creating different conversations. Like, I haven't gotten to where my following is huge yet, but I can only imagine how frustrating it can be when you actually have a people to move, but you have nothing to move them with.
Wow.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah, no original, thoughts or content to put out that.
I feel like, I don't know, creatively, and I guess everybody because I know even with our merch, sometimes everybody creatively runs into a block.
Yeah.
Creator's block.
Yeah.
I definitely think there is an authentic way to still be inspired, or not even that. Sometimes somebody could be having the same exact idea as you, and the person that's hesitating might not ever put it out, and then somebody else put it out, and you be like, damn.
Yeah.
Now if I put it out, it look like I'm biting off. So those situations do happen too. But yeah, I'm gonna take it a couple steps back too. I wanted to go into how I actually first met both of y'all. So I'm gonna start with Marissa. So elitism group, we had this was like 3 years ago. We was like, instead of keeping it local with like our brand ambassadors, like let it be dope to have some other people within different regions. Like organically try to grow it, because the best, you get referrals off of word of mouth and credibility. So yeah, I'll let you. I think I reached out to Marissa on IG. I don't know how we was following each other.
I don't either.
I can't remember. Look, 2020 is a blur, but
I can't believe it's been that long. 3 years. Wow.
2020 just can't. 2020 is like a mulligan. Like you don't even really count that, because that year is definitely a blur. But
yeah,
but yeah.
I think I was getting into the modeling stuff, and then somehow just connected on Instagram.
Yeah.
And
you was in Boston, right?
Yeah, that's when I lived in Boston. Yep.
Do you rep Boston? You zoom by that, like.
No, I was gonna mention it. That's when I was in Boston. I mean, I don't like rep it because that's not where I'm from. Right.
Oh, where are you originally from?
Yeah, so I'm originally from New Hampshire, where like nobody knows where the hell that is, but read a map. But yeah, so originally from New Hampshire, I moved around so many different places: Florida, Texas, Massachusetts, and now here. So yeah, but going back to when we met, I was in school, I was in college, just trying to figure out, my like direction in life.
Right.
And then we collabed in a few different ways when I was in the modeling world. But yeah.
I mean, you could go into what was because I know I sent you, like, the way I had it set up, like send some merch, she organically first of all, thank you, because we definitely got some sales from stuff like that. But yeah, and then you were doing like a fundraiser, or you were doing like a competition.
Some type of competition, and then we collabed on making a shirt.
Yeah.
And then I sold those, and that made me some money in the competition. And then
I creatively created the shirt, by the way.
Yep.
It was like a Rihanna concept, because it was like the red and white. We'll get it edited. We'll show you the pictures.
I don't remember that album. You remember what that?
I think it was the Anti album.
Yeah, with the red.
We gotta bring that back, because the Super Bowl coming up. You know what I mean? All that synergy. You might be able to sell out of the shirt again. You know what I mean? Is it dope? Cool. And then Jax. It was in relation to Atlanta. Actually, how we first met. I couldn't really. This guy was putting up content on Instagram, and I was just like, yo, his work is super dope. I gotta work with this guy. Like, and then just randomly on the day he put up a special, like small business special, like no cost. I was like, what? Like, so I got right on it. I'm like, I feel I was one of the slots. But it was around COVID. It was something going on. I think it was COVID or something like that. We couldn't find a venue. I didn't make the free part in time, and I hit him back like, well, look, can I still get the free shoot? And I'm gonna be honest. You was like, nah. It was like that time passed. You gotta pay for the next shoot. So we linked up with my friend Marlette. She was here in Atlanta. So I was like, well, look, why don't you link up with her? We do the shoot. And I virtually booked the shoot. I wasn't there. I was like, we talk about it all the time. Like, damn, I'm just waiting to see how everything going. And so if you want to take it from there, like how everything went.
Yeah, the Atlanta shoot, I definitely was like, nah, that time has passed for the free shoot.
Yeah, you definitely did.
But
yeah, I'm like, damn.
But in my defense, the time did pass though. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
Because it was one of those things where I was trying to. I was just really trying to get some new clientele, some new eyes on me, or whatever. And I had done I think what it was something we was calling the 30 for 30.
Yeah, yep.
Where I was trying to, within like a span of like 30 days, I was trying to get 30 businesses to shoot a free commercial that would last for 30 seconds.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And part of it was really just trying to show people everything that really goes into like a video production, because people really think that you could show up, shoot for an hour, and like that's it, and it's not even gonna take a whole lot. Like nobody really takes into account, like, you know, just setting up the scene, setting up lighting, trying to get a concept,
Lighting is
multiple shots, like angles or whatever it is that you're doing, and so. What I really wanted to do was I'm going to really show up for 30 minutes and see how little we can get done in 30 minutes, but I'm going to show you my creativity of what I can turn it into after I sit down at the laptop and actually edit it. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, damn, well, if he did that in 30 minutes, we need to like really book this guy for a couple of hours, because if he could do that in 30 minutes, then there's no telling what could happen if we like really do like a 3 or 4 hour shoot.
Right.
But that was so that was like the premise of it. And I did a couple, and
kicked me to the curb.
No, it wasn't even that. It was just,
you know what I mean?
when you do things like for free, sometimes it just, you quickly realize like I probably shouldn't have done this. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like it was good for what it was, but when that 30 days was up, I can't do it for free.
Hey
anymore.
man, look, we've been rocking out. Look, I became a paid customer. We still rocking out. You know, this again, Emmy Award winning, and your credentials is definitely, you know, well represented. So
appreciate you. But my fault. I'll be long.
All right, come on, get to the point.
So
man.
Atlanta, right? So I came down, and like you said, you wasn't able to make it, but you was kind of like the person, kind of like, you know, putting everything together like behind the scenes, like getting a peer space spot. I mean, I found it. I'll take that. I found it, but you booked it, and then, you know what I'm saying, we met up, and the person I got working with me today, Freck, with the B Chem, she actually came with me again as like my assistant, kind of like taking BTS photos for me and everything. And we pull up to the school. It looks super dope on Peerspace, like the way that they presented it, like they did their job really well.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And it was an old abandoned school building, like a high school or something like that, with a whole bunch of like graffiti, and it just looked real rugged in there. But my brain and my eyes, I saw it, and I was like, we could really like make something dope with this, or whatever. And because it's on Peerspace, I'm thinking that they purposely like, that was the decor of the spot, right? And I'm thinking it's gonna be like a, you know how like lofts are, like they be like kind of like rough on the outside, but on the inside it's like
real elegant.
Yeah, it's like a beautiful decay almost, like you know what I'm saying. But we got there and I was like, nah, like this is just an old ass building that's like really scary and like cold and wet, and it was just.
Well, it came out fire.
Was there furniture and stuff in there?
No, furniture.
Just
we gotta show you the
empty.
pictures.
I mean, if it was furniture, it was like desks that used to be there like 30 years ago. Like it was very, everything was organic and authentic in there. Like, but it was a dope spot though. But we got there. And I was under the impression that Ma was going to be coming with somebody else. Like, you know what I'm saying? Even if it was another girl, a guy, whatever, I just thought she was going to be coming with somebody else. And we was in there waiting, chilling, and she pulled up. And she was like, she walked up by herself. And I'm kind of like looking around her shoulder, like, where the other nigga at? Like, where, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, where the other person? And I was like, it's just you? She was like, yeah. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And it was just like, it was one of those weird moments because none of us had ever like met
each other,
one another
right.
in person. It was,
Right.
everything was just kind of like word of mouth, just like linking up, networking type of thing.
Yep.
And we was talking about this last night where immediately what kicked in my head was like, all right, just do whatever you can do to just make her feel comfortable because I'm just imagining like how she's feeling as a woman.
Yeah, yeah.
And she's like super petite and like little and shit like that. You know what I mean? Like if I was like, if I was her, I would have been super pissed at you. Like you set me up, like line me up with this.
Marissa probably wouldn't. Would you? No, at that point, would you
No.
look like Jeff? You would have.
I would.
Well, let me time out. But he did have a woman with him. Like so that.
Yeah.
That
She was a good
no?
buffer.
Still, I would have been like, what in the what?
Yo,
I'm like, I'm
Go
not
ahead.
even gonna lie. Like, I'm kind of bougie, you know, and I like nice things. So
Okay.
walking into a abandoned ass school, dark, wet, no.
well, I will say
It's not my aesthetic.
Salute to Ma. Where the camera at? Salute to Ma. Appreciate you because look, it came out fire.
You're a real one.
You're a real one. No, and Jax, I like working. This is what I do love working with like creative people that could see. Like some people might not even saw the vision of that.
Yeah.
So I respect that. Like even when, so after we did that, we still hadn't met each other in person. We met like months later, right?
Yeah.
When we
'cause
went
that
to the
was
office
that was back in like
in March, April.
like February or March.
Oh wow.
So and when we finally got to sit down, I was like, I really, when we like just on a personal level talk about some stuff, and then like your favorite movie was Dark Knight, my favorite movie was Dark Knight, and the cinema and all that, and how you got started. Actually, I want to talk about that. Can you tell me the story? What made you want to even start getting into doing content?
Like, just like camera work in general. I used to be on a pod called
No,
Sex.
I think before that, I wanted to talk when you said about your grandma, the camera.
Well, yeah, that's
the thing. Okay,
it lead into that, right? So I was on a pod called Sex with Strangers, a grown folks podcast, right? Shout out to
There you
Sam
go.
Juice, what up?
Okay.
And we used to do like live shows, like you know how like podcasting is like really really big now, huge now, right? And people doing tours and all that kind of shit. Like we started podding in like 2015, and we stopped podding in 2020. Like we was 5 years in when it was really heating up, and you know what I'm saying, we just ended it. But within that 5 year span, we did 5 like live shows. I think we did 3 in Philly, 1 in Houston, 1 in Atlanta. And in order to sell tickets, which is very difficult, we had to figure out how to promote. And me and they was never really big on like doing like getting in front of the camera, like girl shit, no offense, I'm sorry. But you feel like you gotta look a certain way before you get on camera. Like dudes don't really care about that. Like we just trying to get it done. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So me and my time, I had a dude I played ball with. He was my roommate, and he had I didn't even have an iPhone at the time. He had an iPhone. I had an Android. I was texting in green. Don't laugh.
Yeah, thank God.
Humble beginning.
But so we used to go out and we used to like reenact like scenes from movies, but I would just like write a script to where it would play into whatever the theme of our live show was going to be. Like for instance, one of our shows was called Get on Some Ass, right? And we would take a scene from like Paid in Full or The Dark Knight. We did the Bane scene where he was talking to like the people, the prisoners or whatever.
Yeah.
And I would just remix the script to where it would be able to promote the tickets for the show. And we was doing all this on phones. And at one point we had a conversation, me and my homie, and we was like, bro, like if we had like real equipment, like a real camera or something, like we could probably like do this for real, because the preparation that we putting into it is like a for real, like low key, like
Situation,
production.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And then my grandmother, like you were saying, my grandmother actually passed in 2016. But it was one of those things where I knew she had left some money behind for me, but I never really felt comfortable like asking my dad or my grandfather like, yo, so like, like, what's up with the money that Grandma Shirley left for me? Because, that's like, it's my dad's mom, it's my grandfather's wife. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I never really felt comfortable, like, starting that conversation with him. So it literally got to, like, 3 to 4 years later before I even mentioned it. I talked to my dad, and I was just like, yo, like, because I had to go, like, sign papers with talk to lawyers and stuff just to get all the paperwork, right? So I finally just asked him about it. And he was like, oh, that money been there. Like, you just got to go. He's like,
Damn,
you just got to go get it. I was like, you was never going to say nothing?
So wait a minute. What got you to that point to be like, like, was your back up against the wall? Like,
It probably was. Yeah, I was probably just like in a like tight situation or whatever. And I just really, like sometimes when it's not, you haven't run out of money yet, but it's inevitable, like it's coming. And I was just trying to figure out ways to get in front of it. And it was just one of the things that like, oh shit, like I might still have this like in my back pocket and I just forgot about it. You know what I mean? I talked to him and he was like, oh, that money there is like, you just ain't never say nothing. And I'm like, so cash a check. And the first purchases that I made were camera equipment. I got a Panasonic GH5. That was my workhorse podcast camera. We used to use it to do like promo videos and stuff like that. First gig was a club, like a club shoot, actually.
Why you putting them in?
And it's been kind of just up from there. You know what I mean? But none of this really would have been possible without my grandmother like really passing away, but having the forward thinking to like really kind of like take care of me. Like she really was the one who funded my dream for real, my second passion after baseball and shit like that. So
that's dope.
That's
dope. I think it's crazy with like with grandparents. I think we all like have like with family. I know, and I'll get with your father, and we was talking about some stuff. But my first property, I think I might have shared this with you too, Jax, on my salute to the Teller family, my grandmom Teller. But her birthday was July 4th, so July 4th means something different to our family. And in regards to like 4th of July, we were like, oh, this grandma, we gonna go to the park, all that. So when I purchased my house, it went under contract on my grandmother's birthday. Well, she passed in 06. But to make it a little bit more sentimental, like it, the Teller Drive is where I live at. So it's my grandmother's last name, and it went under contract. So it was like crazy. So
that is wild.
I was like, all right, I ain't gonna never sell this house. Like we always gonna keep this in the family and all that. So but no, Marissa, I know I know family is big with you as well. Do you want to speak with anything?
Yeah. So starting my business, I always wanted to start a business, and I never knew like what I was gonna call it. So it took me some time, but with the situation that happened with my brother, because he's the only boy in like my family, basically.
Yeah.
The only one that could pass on the last name.
Oh,
and he got into a situation where, when he had his son didn't get his last name, whatever that situation was. And it kind of hurt me because I was like, well, damn, like you can't even, like give our dad some type of, legacy or whatever to live on. So I was like, I'm gonna call my business my last name. So Peart Enterprises LLC is my like parent company right now. So yeah, I named it after my dad just so that like, there'll be something always in, that will live on past him, past me, past. So I'm really hoping to keep it going and just, build it into something, massive, like a whole marketing firm or,
Yeah, let's get into that. So what exactly do you do with the company?
Yes, so social media marketing is what I do right now, which actually is for this wine,
Sure.
Black Bottle. And, post content for them, just basically run their whole social media platform. So, it's really, I love doing it, coming up with the content, being creative, and having that freedom to like, just like do what I want and connect people with the Black-owned wine company. I love it.
Yeah, salute to both companies up there, both black owned. So the wine company is called Black
Bottle.
Black
Yep.
Bottle.
And shout out to Doug. I love Doug so much. He's the one who, like, you know, basically inspired me to start my business. And it was off of some, like, well, I got to pay you to, you know, do this work for me. So he wanted, like, my social security number. And I was like, yeah, I can't give that to you because I don't feel comfortable doing that, even though. And he was like, well, you could start a business and just give me the EIN number and I'll pay you that way. And I was like, okay, bet.
So is it a 1099 contractor?
A what?
A 1099 contractor.
With him?
Yeah. Well, we don't have to talk about personal business. I'm just
I
saying.
mean,
When you give your EIN and then he pays you to your business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, so that's how that all started and everything. I did not want to give out my personal information like that because, you know, you never know. He could have lost it and somebody could have. No, So I just. Not saying he would do anything with it, but, you know, it could have fallen in the wrong hands.
Honestly, that's a good because some people don't even think to, you know, you can get paid like that. You can create a business and do partnerships. There's even businesses like jobs, like you can have the option of being a W-2 employee, or you can say, hey, I want to do 1099 and you got to handle your own taxes. So that's like it's more prevalent than it was even like 5 years ago. People don't think about
it. Definitely doing it that way. I mean, either way, it would have been beneficial to me, but doing it the way that I did when I did, I mean, it like saved my life because going off of what Jack said, the getting in front of when you know you're about to run out of some money, like that was my way of like getting in front of that because I quit my job, moved to Atlanta, and I mean, there was like no money coming in really. So I had to figure out something and then Doug approached me with this and it just all fell in. It just all happened the way that it was supposed to happen, you know?
Yeah.
That's funny. I only laugh because I was trying to quit my job for like a year. They just, I'm sorry. I was trying to get fired.
Oh, okay.
I was trying to get fired for like a year. And I used to work in, I worked in corporate America for like 5 years. And it's crazy because I found out about myself that, like, you know how some people be like, oh, I can't work for somebody. And I've never been the I can't work for somebody person.
Same.
But what I did realize is I can't do something that I'm not like passionate about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because my first almost 3 decades of my life, I played baseball. Like I was able to play minor league baseball for up until I was 28. And then when I retired from that, that's when I worked in corporate for like until I was like 33, 34. And my last year of corporate, I was trying to get fired the whole year. Because
it was a headache in the
because remember what I told you the first year of starting the pod, I used to just like find cheap tickets on Southwest, fly to cities where I didn't know nobody, but I just hashtag like the name of the city, try to find an interesting person to sit down with and be like, yo, I'm about to be in the city, I got a pod, you want to hop on, right?
Wow.
And I did that literally for the whole year. So I had no PTO.
No PTO days.
I had no more PTO days. Literally.
Perfect guess.
And
way to tie it in.
That's what I do, man. But like, I legit ran out of PTO like in like fucking like June. I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm sorry for cursing, but I ran out in like June, right, for the whole year,
right.
And then so I was like, all right, bet. But I had I still had trips like lined up for like, you know, I was trying to go somewhere once a month basically.
Yeah.
And I went somewhere in July. I got rolled up. I went somewhere in August. And they was like, yo, like, you can't do this again. I was like,
you were like, well, you could fire me. I mean.
I got another trip booked next month.
I was like, all right. I went somewhere. I went to New Orleans in August. And they was like, bro, like, they called me.
Did you go for a week or something?
Yeah, like 4 days.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would go on like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then had a weekend, come back on like so, and then in the last thing I did, I think in the month of like October, I went to LA. But before, you know how black people kind of like, they'll book the trip and then they'll like request the time or whatever. I was doing that the whole year. So I had already bought my ticket, had an Airbnb lined up, and my supervisor had actually approved me for the days. Like, oh wow.
Oh, they tried to reverse psychology or something on you.
The day before I was supposed to fly out, they called me into the office. Was like, yo, I know I approved you for this, but you don't got no days left. I was like, well, y'all approved me for it. Like, I already bought my stuff. Like, what y'all want me to do? And they was like, well, if you take the days, that's on you. But I'm not saying you might not have a job, but I'm saying. So I was trying to act like, I was like, oh man, like damn, like really. But I was like, I'm going. Like I want y'all to fire me, right? Went to LA, was out there. My gout flared up. I got arthritis. So my foot was killing me when it was time to come back. And I came back and I had to go to the doctor and I just never went back to work. And I was
did they cut your benefits? Like, was you able to use your benefits?
Yeah, actually I was.
Oh, they were like, yeah, you need this for something. Did that make you rethink anything?
Actually, I was. No, not at all.
Oh,
not at all. Because the pills that they gave me was super high powered. I got well quick. And I'm typically like pretty healthy, knock on wood. But
okay.
But now, like, so I literally went to LA and just never went back to work. And like I was waiting for them to kind of at least like verbalize to me that I was fired or give me some kind of documentation like you terminated or something like that. And it took them like a month to send me anything.
Dang.
Or whatever. And then they finally did. And I was trying to get fired so I could get unemployment.
Right, yeah, so waiting for you to keep it real. Yeah. We kind of figured that.
Yeah. So, but it was like we was playing like a game of chicken. Like they didn't want to do it. They wanted me to quit.
They knew.
You know
they were on to you. They knew.
But that's really how I guess got into like the full-time entrepreneur thing. Cause like ever since then I just been hunting for my own food. Like but that's why I laughed when you said like I quit my job and moved to Atlanta. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Well, I had come here originally for acting and singing. Okay. And I mean, it wasn't, the team that I had was so just not, they weren't it. So I fell into this deep depression and didn't have a job. I was looking for a job and it was just a whole thing. So finally started my business. I was like, okay, it like got me back into the, swing of like working and doing that whole thing. And then I was like, okay, well, I need more money. So I went and got a full-time job. Yeah. And that's where I'm at.
Nah, I was, first of all, a couple of things. So I remember, what was it? A couple of years ago when you was in the like J. Cole video, right?
Last year.
I was last year. So
actually, yeah, last year. It's been a year. Yep. Yeah. So, what point was that when you had already stopped the modeling and all that full time? You was working? No, that was still like, my team and I we were still working. We were still trying to get things going. Okay. But it kind of was like they should have used that, I feel like, to kind of build more momentum, and the ball was just dropped. So, and when you have hype like that, you have to act. You have to act quickly because people are going to forget. People don't care. Like, attention spans are like nothing. So, they dropped the ball on that and kind of didn't really help me progress in any way. So I kind of like fired them.
Got you.
And just did my own thing for a little bit. And so, yeah.
How do y'all deal with you mentioned depression. Like, there's a lot of things you talking about that's like I feel like I'm relating to. Like, how do y'all deal with like the ebbs and flows of like trying to chase something that you really love, but it take longer and you may not get paid from it like every day, and trying to, you know what I mean? Like, how do y'all manage that?
I think like so when I left corporate America, it was a little bit different. I was kind of blessed initially. I worked in corporate for over 10 years doing sales, and we had a 12-month grace period where they let us know like, hey, we're going to move to another state. If you guys don't want to move, then you'll get set. And I had been with this company for 10 years, so I was kind of like relieved, like, all right, well, damn, all right, if I really want to do that, like, and salute to my man Jay Supplement. That's one of my guys. This is his company. We got the gold bottle, and you definitely had a description in the link there on the YouTube link. But we was like, look, we got a game plan if we can, because not only, you gotta remember, this is 2020 when we got let go too, so we got severance plus unemployment plus the extra
Wow.
600. So I'm like, this is better than not. This is better than having a job. Like we getting checks coming in. I can invest into the business. It was rolling up until a certain point. So obviously that runs out at a certain point. Earlier this year, I got hired by a job, and like you said earlier, like I realized I can't do, like, even though I'm good with sales, I gotta be passionate about what I sell. And I was only there for I got so used to doing the entrepreneurship life that this one job in particular, I was only there for like 2 weeks.
Wow.
Like
I
I put,
remember you telling me about that.
yeah, so like they was like, it want to give you a company vehicle. It was like a Sprinter. The entrepreneurship, the entrepreneurship mindset. I'm like, all right, well, look, I could use the van to get the merch to go vend on Juneteenth weekend. Like I'm still in that mindset. They like, which I don't even know if I should say this on the pod. Hopefully they don't come to watch this episode. I did use the van to go vend.
You paid for the gas, right? Or...
I paid for the gas.
Okay.
You trying to get me lined up? Wow. I definitely paid for the gas. And I vended, and then they was like, yeah, we're going to book your tickets to go to Milwaukee and at that point I was like, you know what? I don't want to waste their time. I don't want to waste their money or booking trips and stuff like that. And if I am going to work a job, let me make sure that it's going to be something I'm fully passionate about. So I put my resignation in. Like, oh, that's what it was. They was like, you're going to drive to Pittsburgh, and then you're going to get in the car with another rep for 3 hours.
Whoa.
Yo, I was dreading that trip,
Yeah.
and I was like, I typed up my resignation and returned the company vehicle.
No, that's
obviously.
a lot, though.
It's a lot.
For
It's a
some
lot.
sales that you could do on the phone, or you could do.
Well,
Zoom?
they do pay you commission and stuff like that. They do.
okay.
Yeah, they come. Well, it is what it is. It wasn't worth it.
Right,
Yeah.
clearly.
But no. Back to what your question is, the ups and downs, especially as a man, and especially when you calling all the shots. It could be you definitely deal with the voices in your head. You definitely deal with anxiety to some degree. You definitely have people around you that might not understand entrepreneurship mindset, so they can't understand at all. And that's another. I'm sorry. Let me take a step back. In 2020, when I left my job that I was with for 10 years, I was like, well, let me hurry up and close on the house. I was like, I want to get an asset, and that's not normal. You know what I mean? People lose their job, like, oh, you got laid off and you bought a house. Like, what's going on? But I definitely wanted to make sure I owned the asset, would still be able to work in my business, and you gotta have thick skin. You gotta have mental discipline. I would say it's tough, but yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I definitely. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, for me, it was really hard, really hard. I don't know. You just gotta. You have to like wake up every day and just choose, and see the vision. Like tomorrow could be the same. Tomorrow could be better, but like you just have to keep going. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, so many nights I cried. I just like so many, but just looking forward and knowing that like if I keep going, if I give this my all, then the outcome could be so beautiful, and I could live the life that I've always wanted to live. So
Full disclosure too, like when Marissa, when she blew up with the video, like she got signed to a agency. I'm like, because then the reporter usually be like, hey, Marissa, I'm going to send you some merch. Can you post this? At that time, she was like, I'm signed. I can't do what I used to do. So she was about to kick us to the curb, too. She was getting a little too Hollywood. You know what I mean? So I was like, damn. But it was all love. I understood because, when certain people have certain restrictions of that.
signed a contract. Yeah.
Signed a contract and all that. But you back with Elite? You could still do some stuff with elitism now.
But my Instagram is
it's cool. Look, it's a ghost.
right now.
It's fine.
And that was another
Damn,
thing.
what you do?
Yeah, so that's another thing. So my Instagram has been deactivated for like almost a year.
Oh man.
Everybody watching this right now, like, damn, can't follow.
Because it was just taking a step back from everything, and just having mental clarity, like not having, even the people who are like, yeah, Instagram doesn't do nothing to me. Like I don't care about the likes. I don't care about anything. You do because you keep posting. You keep, you're looking for that. For some people, validation. So for me, I didn't really care about like being validated. It was more so like seeing everyone progressing and me just being depressed and like okay, well, I can't really be happy for you because like my life sucks right now. So I just wanted to take a step back, you know, be clear. And not having Instagram it's been really, really nice. Like I'm like in my own bubble. I've done so many things so far, like starting my business, getting a new job, moving to a new city, like all those things happened because I just took a step back and focused. I'll be back.
Do you think it's really that big of a like? Do you think that you couldn't have done all the things that you've done if you still had it?
I think I would have been distracted. I think social media is a really big distraction. If you let it, because like you have a business that involves you posting content and everything. For me, I do have a business that I have to be on my clients' Instagrams posting stuff. So from there, like I would see shade room posts or something, but as far as me having to keep up with my following and having to make sure that I produce, I didn't have that like anxiety or that like,
I got you. I a lot of the people who like my homies, my friends, I hate calling people followers, but like just the people who like support me on like social media and everything, like they have seen me go through meltdowns and yelling,
I've heard
screaming sessions, you know what I'm saying? And I got to a point, and this is, I guess, just personally how I've had to navigate through it is, I honestly could say now, like, Instagram I'm using it more as a tool as opposed to like something that I'm like dependent on. It's just like a tool in the bag as opposed to being the entire bag. You know what I'm saying? And and I've noticed that it's taken a lot of like I don't get disappointed if I post something and maybe it don't get a whole bunch of views or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Because I used to like really get angry about not really getting angry about people, whether they liked what I did or hated what I did, but not even being given the opportunity to make that decision on whether they liked it or they didn't like it, because they can't even fucking see it.
Right.
You know
the
what I'm
algorithms
saying?
you're talking about?
Yeah.
I feel like TikTok is really like that algorithm is interesting because, I mean, there's so many people on TikTok, but then like bomb ass content will only get like 10 likes.
Yeah.
So it's just really interesting.
Yeah. But I'm to a point now where I kind of just like use it as like almost like a plan B portfolio, because I do have a website, but everybody, it's weird how you can go to a website on your phone just as easily as you can go to social media, but people tend to gravitate more towards social media.
Right.
So it's just it's a good hub of where to show people your work if they're interested and they just want somewhere to see like what have you done.
Definitely.
You know what I mean? So,
Yep.
but yeah, I can't take it too serious, and also too because like a lot of the content that for whatever reason that does get a lot of looks, like I be trying to be super unbiased, but it don't really be the best content all the time.
It doesn't.
Like I know, and taking myself out of it, like I know a lot of people who don't have huge followings who have like really quality stuff, but they just, for whatever reason, like they don't get the love that nonsense gets.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, for me, it's always been like a tug of war of, do I succumb to doing nonsense in order to pull the people in and then hope that they'll go deeper into what it is that you do and realize like, oh, like he's actually like not an asshole or not I mean,
So
just,
do you think so? Like when we was talking, like again, when you was on the lives, like 2-3 in the morning some months ago, early spring or summer, and you was like trying to figure out ways how to get more clients and stuff like that. Do you think it was the lack of your quality, or do you think it was like, hey, it was some other things you could have done within your business to connect with more people or more businesses or more artists?
The way that my mind works, I think it's all of those things. Like I never think that I'm like I haven't gotten to a point yet where I feel like I've perfected anything. Like even with just like my videos or whatever I do, like it's always something that I can see where I was like, damn, I need to get better at that, or I need to do this. I could have done that differently, or I need to maybe like buy another small piece that would just like up it just a couple of notches. You know what I'm saying? And then especially in the business, because I kind of feel like I'm building the plane as I'm flying it. Like, you know what I mean? Like
I feel so I'm just going back to when you were saying like you sometimes used to get frustrated of not getting the love. Mm-hmm. So I look at the way how y'all do content is like, Don, like he do artwork. It's subjective. Like you gonna have people that's gonna rock with it. Mm-hmm. You want some people that's not gonna rock with it. Or are you okay when you put stuff out? I know you said you have a different mindset now. So does people loving it, does that really matter to you still?
Not really, because the illest moment that I have is actually when I know that I'm done with a project, mm-hmm. and I save it and I rewatch it like those first like maybe 3 or 4 times. Yeah. And I be in my own apartment like, yo, this shit is fire. Yeah. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't be nobody. It don't be nobody else.
And that's when you don't care when you post it, and if it gets like whatever it gets, because you are satisfied with what you what you make.
Matter of fact,
I feel that.
I've had that feeling. I don't have that feeling on everything that I've done, right? But I do have that feeling on a lot of the things that I've done, and the elitism video was one of them.
Which one?
The very first one.
The very first one
in the school. Yeah. And I'll tell you this, I even got hyped when I landed on the song that I used.
Yeah, Hov my favorite rapper first and foremost. So,
I ain't know that.
Like, I was like, all right, he doing chop and screw. All right, we gonna rock with it. So, it came out super dope.
When I tell you, look, listen, I'm sorry to keep cutting you off, but bro, like, cause like my process is when I go through the like trying to pick a song, right? Trying to make it the right feel for whatever the video is. Yeah. And I'm like I might spend like a legit like 1 or 2 hours just going through different songs or different instrumentals, or just trying to like visualize like what is gonna sound the best with this, right? And I listen to everything with my beats on, my headphones on. Like I don't listen to it with just like an open speaker or whatever. Right. And I remember I was leaning on the counter. I was probably like drinking some soda or something, and I was just like going through songs, and I heard the original version. And I was like, let me see if they got like a chopped and screwed, because especially Jay and Beyonce, like they don't fuck around with they'll block your shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if you use like a chopped and screwed, like they can't do nothing to it because that's an original whatever. Right. I heard that shit, and I was going crazy in their house. I was like, that shit crazy. You know what I'm saying? So that was even before I even started chopping it up. Like I was just trying to get the song first. And then I go into like my editing process. But then when I was going through it and editing, I was like, this shit is crazy. Like this shit is fire. Like, so like those be the best moments. This video. Those be the best moments for me. We'll show it to you. Yeah. Those be the best moments for me. Like that moment before everybody else gets, like before you kind of like release it to the world. Like
you hype yourself.
Yeah, like that'd be the best moment for me.
Man, like you make it like, especially when you work with somebody that's doing video content and you don't have to, because I think that when I was like, just do it, look, you got full creative control. Yeah. I'm not even down there. Yeah. I was like, go ahead, pick the song. But when you, as far as me being a business owner with the brand, if you could work with people where they kind of it make it 10 times easier, where they can get the song, they can get the shots that you need, and you don't have to communicate that. It makes it a lot easier. So like our team, like when you shoot the videos for the Connect, Build, Create, the networking events, which we might be bringing one to the A too. So but when we get those videos, like I watched the last one you just did, watched it at least 20 times. Like I'm watching, I'm like, this shit fire. You know what I mean? And I'll hit you like, yo, you killed this joint, or even the feedback. So that make us feel good too. Like we appreciate that for sure.
That's always a great feeling to That's probably feeling number 2. That ranks as number 2. Like when you deliver something to somebody and then you like waiting for the response back, and because sometimes people will just love everything. They'll love it, but they might have like some edits or some changes, something to take out, something to add in, and that's cool too. But like the times where people think something is like really perfect and they be like, yo, like this made me cry, or this made me like go around and go crazy, or like that'd be dope. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that really be dope, because it's like, damn, like they really appreciate what I was able to do for them. And I don't feel the same way that someone will feel when they actually see themselves on camera on something that's their baby. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so that's always it's just dope to see, like, when other people like really are happy with what you delivered to them.
I think it was super interesting that you said, and I've asked a couple other people that shoot with us, like, so what's your style? And you was like, I just like to go back in the corner. You're like a sniper. This dude.
Yeah.
Oh, when I say sniper, this guy, Marissa, this guy brings a big ass bag. Look, that
bag over there,
that bag over there, all this. The first networking event I told him to come to, I was like, look, you need to just come and network. I was like, yo, and I was like, buy a ticket. Then after the week, I was like, yo, why don't you just bring the camera, pull up, maybe you could shoot. So he brings this big ass bag.
Wrong shoot.
He brings
wrong kind of shoot.
But I like his style. Like he said, he really does. Like you kind of like he fades off in the corner. Like if you would watch, like if you really observe in the room, but he picks up the energy in the room. And then like another interesting thing is when you said you love to edit, and I know everybody don't love to edit.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. That's the worst part. But that also is the part that's where the money is too, because you could kind of tell when somebody just kind of skate through their edit. Like you could kind of tell when it's a money grab. Because I'll be looking at people, and people, Philly is don't be offended, but Philly is a different place, in my opinion, being an outsider of Philly when it comes to that, where people gravitate to who's popular and not necessarily who's the best. You know what I'm saying? And like, so when you get wind or word of like who's considered to be like the best at something, naturally I think you kind of go, like if everybody else is saying that this is the bar, let me go look at the bar and see how I measure up to the bar, and you start really like looking at it, and you could sometimes kind of tell when people just, oh yeah, let me get this bread, and then every now and then you could tell when they're actually trying to perfect their craft on something, because maybe it's like a big job or a big project. But like with me, like I'm self-taught. So I didn't go to school for nothing. So like I really had to sit down on YouTube for hours and hours and hours and just practice and try to come up with my style. You know what I'm saying? So like now that I have it, like I just, in order to duplicate it every time, and also I don't want to take nobody's money. Like if somebody's going, because it's not inexpensive, when somebody's paying you for something, like you're coming to me, paying me because you've seen the work that I've done before and you want that.
Yep.
So like I feel like I got to give you that, you know what I mean? So I got to spend the right amount of time that it's going to take to give you exactly what you came to me for. You know what I mean? So I don't want to cheat nobody.
How do you feel, Marissa, when you like, because you're going after, you're working with businesses of different calibers and all that. So how do you approach like your clients, and do you have to sometimes turn business away, or does it have to be a certain?
Yeah. So right now, I'm just working with Doug, and he's been kind of
salute to Doug,
my plug for my clients. He's also part owner of Black too. I forgot to mention that. Okay. But my business right now is through him, so it's kind of like, just working with friends basically. Okay. But I had some people reach out to me, and they're interested in having me work with them. So I just got to get my business things in order, because I don't want to half-ass. I don't want to be not prepared. Yeah. So like Jack said, if you're coming to me, like I want to give you the best that you've seen me give other people. So
gotcha.
Yeah.
Is that nerve-wracking?
Yeah.
Like how does that feel? Because I know one of my homies who does photography down here, shout out to Jazz, all that Jazz Media. She shoots really, really great photos, in my opinion, right? But she always like hit me up to like be like, yo, like what do I charge people, or I don't know if I'm comfortable like charging this much.
Yep,
or,
yep.
Like she'll give me like, I think I'm gonna charge them this, and I'm like, you need to like up that shit, like you know what I'm saying. But it does kind of come with a little bit of a pressure.
It does.
Because like when money get involved in anything, like it's like, all right now, like
Yep.
you better don't mess this up.
No, for real.
Like, you know what I'm
For
saying?
real.
Like how do y'all deal with that?
I mean, there definitely is pressure. And if you don't do something right, then you just like tarnished your whole everything. So yeah, I just want to make sure that like entering the world of accepting clients that are not like, friend based or whatever, that I'm solid and I'm an actual like, trustworthy business that they can rely on, because social media presence is everything in today's society, today's world. So to mess that up is not, I don't want to be the person that does that.
Yeah.
Right.
How you get over the fear though of being like, because at some point, not saying that you're not there, but at some point you just gotta get to a point where it's like,
It is what it is.
I might fuck it up, but I'm gonna still go take this leap off this cliff. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, recently I just did my pricing actually, and I kind of went on Fiverr, if you guys know what that is, Fiverr.com.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me see what like other people are charging, and see what they're producing, and then like that's the bar, see where I measure up on that bar. And that kind of helped me to calm down and kind of see like, okay, well, this is what you can charge, this is what stuff. It kind of just put everything into perspective. So that was nerve-wracking thinking about it, but actually sitting down and doing it was like, okay, like this is all right. And then sending that to someone and them paying me that first check or whatever.
How does that feel? That's always a good feeling when you get that first deposit. So, do you guys ever struggle with like Marissa, like a couple of weeks ago, I'm like, yo, I think I was sending a lead over. I was like, hey, what's the did you reach out to this person? I was like, I know you said you was working on pricing. Do you ever feel like, do you overthink, or do any of you guys, when you coming up with a new concept for your business, do you sometimes feel like you delayed it too far of implementing like any aspect of your business?
Delayed it too. I'm probably the opposite. Like I just be doing shit. I ain't gonna lie. Nah, because and it come from. I'm serious though. It come from sports. Like my brain is always an athlete brain, right? Yeah. Where it's like, you just gotta try. You just gotta do it. You just gotta go. Like don't think.
I agree.
You know what I mean? You gonna like it's almost like you're gonna make mistakes. You might as well make them soon,
right?
So you can learn sooner,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Because like the longer you wait, the longer you not gonna do it.
Yeah,
that's a
you know what I mean?
Perspective.
And like, I don't know. Like I just feel like you can't really be afraid. I'm not afraid to fail. I just be upset at failing. Like that's more so my thing. Like I'm not afraid to embarrass myself or look silly or look goofy. You know what I'm saying?
Or be corrected or something.
Yeah,
like
you know
that's
what I'm saying?
nothing.
But it's just like I just be upset if I make the same mistake like over and over or something like that.
Yeah, I'm not. I think I'm more mad at missed opportunities for sure, or like if like 3 months go by and it's like, damn, I could have did this and this could have led to this. So there's been certain examples of getting out there and just acting on it, and it was like, damn, I'm glad. Like even look today, like what was it, 3 weeks out, whatever you posted you was gonna be in Atlanta, was like, yo, let's lock in. Salute to Dion. That's the behind the scenes of elitism and all that. Called Dion like, yo, we going to Atlanta, we gonna lock in with Jax. We didn't really have a solid game plan, even leading up to this week. Somebody else was supposed to be on the pod, but we got it together. But I'll have no regrets. Like I'm glad we was able to get this locked in. So, yeah, I'm with you on that. Just go ahead, push forward, and get it done.
For me, I'm a overthinker for sure. I mean, I played sports too and everything, but that mind is definitely gone.
What'd you play?
I played volleyball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, volleyball and basketball. Volleyball was the big thing though, like player of the year in my state and everything. Right. Yeah, so I was a real that was my life right there.
Is volleyball big in New Hampshire?
Volleyball's big everywhere. It's in the Olympics. Okay.
I don't know about everywhere.
Everywhere.
But you know how like some places, some like football is God
Yeah,
down
I
south.
mean,
Like,
yeah,
you know what I
that's
mean?
what
Like, that's what I meant.
But yeah,
That's what's up.
yeah, I love volleyball. But I overthink everything and hesitate. So yeah, I'm definitely one of those people. Cause I'm a perfectionist. Like I want it to be perfect. You know.
It's never going to be perfect.
I know that I definitely know that. But as long as like I'm satisfied with it to the point where I'm at with whatever it is, then that's when I'm ready.
Now let me ask you this: is because I know you said Doug, your business partner, is he more like no, put it out? Like does he
No,
pick
he's
the
not
other
my
side of your
business
brain?
partner or
Oh, not your
anything.
business
No,
partner.
no,
Okay.
no. He's just the person that I go to for like advice. business like everything.
Does he push you though?
Yeah, he definitely does. Like I
Okay.
said, he pushed me to start this business kind of
Okay.
in a way. So
Okay.
Another
Yeah.
thing, because you mentioned like pricing, right? I think one of the things I saw on YouTube, and it made a lot of sense, was sometimes it's good to, you know how like when you send an invoice, it's always good to like list everything that you're gonna be like putting into whatever you're doing on the invoice. So for one, it's for the people know what they're paying for, but also you get the chance to see how many things that you're actually doing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And how much that actually cost. And on the back end, I know like with editing or whatever, there's always a point in an edit where either you're like, I'm not getting paid enough for this, or I can't wait to finish this so I can get paid. And you always want it to be the latter. And to be honest, that's when I know that I either need that I'm at the right price or I need to raise my price. Like when I'm actually editing something, if too many times I feel like, yo, I'm not getting paid enough for this, then that means I need to charge more.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know like what my version of editing would be like for you, but whatever that version is, like you could usually tell, like whatever the hardest part of your gig is, I think that's the part where you can be honest with yourself and be like, you know, I really am getting paid the right amount, or I'm not getting paid.
I think because with social media, you know, you're going through the analytics, you're planning the content, you're doing the captions, there's so many tedious things that go into it. Even like picking music to go onto the stories, you know, like if you want it to be good, you gotta, you know, find the right song. So, or if you want it to connect with their audience, then, yeah, I think I've found my pricing, but we'll see because I haven't like put it out there yet.
Have you ever, like what Jax was saying earlier, in regards to like the 30 for 30, he did some complimentary stuff for some opportunities. Do you see yourself ever doing something like that?
Possibly.
Okay.
Yeah, to like probably increase my portfolio just to, you know, show more than just black or more than the food truck also.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it's always good to be able to, you know, sometimes the right opportunity get your portfolio up, get you some more experience. So I wanted to ask that.
I was gonna say like you have the real estate side of things.
Oh yeah,
Or
we could
other business, you know, ventures and stuff.
Yeah, so real estate, that's been a challenge. That's been another thing. Like once me and my mother, we closed on a multi-family property in July.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I never saw myself invested with my mom. Like, you know, obviously we had a close relationship, but it's dope. Don't get me wrong. But yeah, we closed on the property, rehabbed it, and we want to be renting it out to travel nurses. So any travel nurses, if you're watching, the link will be in the video too. And it's super interesting. It's like a midterm. It's like a furnished rental. So it's not quite Airbnb because it's not short term. But you can charge more for having a furnished unit for travel nurses. So
that's a question that I had. Now that you mention that, right? Like, how do y'all parents feel about not going like a conventional route? Because that's the thing where, you know, like a lot of if we relatively I'm probably the oldest person in here, but if we relatively,
well, how old are you?
That's not important.
Oh, it's important.
But you know how like, you know, most of our parents like didn't come from like, this is really like a new time where people are like really just starting their own shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's in such abundance where it's foreign to a lot of our parents. and you know
Yeah.
grandparents and stuff like that. So like,
Yeah.
how do y'all people, you know, how do they show support if at all?
So,
Why you keep
Nah,
laughing? He
because-
keep laughing.
so my dad's from Jamaica, and
Okay.
he came to this country. He's like 67 or something. He's really old.
Damn, that's really old.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, he's really old. Love you, Dad. But
You want some answering to do when you watch this episode?
but he
Yo.
came here when he was 19, and like all I've ever really wanted to do was make him proud, because he came from a whole different country and like started over. Like that's crazy to me.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this story, and this may just like sum it up. When I was living in Texas and like money was tight, I was like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I really don't. So I was like, Dad, I think I'm just gonna like go be a stripper, because I don't know how I'm gonna do this. And he's like, well, honey, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Damn.
Yo.
I was like,
Oh,
Dad, what?
He knew you was joking.
No, he didn't.
I ain't gonna lie. I actually
He's very supportive in other
I actually
words.
fuck with that though, because in a way, now I don't have children, but in a way, he kind of said two things. He kind of was like, I do support you, but at the same time, he was like, hey, if that's what you want to do,
Right.
I mean, I guess, but
I never became a stripper,
Yeah.
but yeah, he supported me through every single thing I've ever wanted to do. And even when I'm down, like my dad is the one that picks me up, and he's like, well, you know, you've done this, you can do this.
Yeah.
So no matter
Yeah.
what, that's my best friend right there. I love
what's
him.
up.
Dope. Nah, the reason I laugh is 'cause, like, salute. Look, I love both my. Look, first of all, it's a rarity to have your dad in your life, like where I'm from. A lot of my homie, like, salute to my boy Slim. He live in the A actually. He got married and he had his wedding on Father's Day. I'm like, bro, why would you have a wedding on Father's Day? He was like, Jay, like, you the only person that got their dad in their life, and that's in my wedding.
Yeah.
But my dad didn't finish high school. He never got his diploma. So like, I think he probably early on, he probably didn't see, like, understand like entrepreneur, like that I was going to take it where I took it or where I'm trying to take it. But I think he's proud of me. And then my mom, I kind of lay it on her a little, like when I got the layoff and it's 12 months, she's like, well, what are you going to do? And all this. I'm like, chill. Like, I got the bread coming in and all that. She's being the mother, but, and salute to like Earn Your Leisure. Like during 2020, before Earn Your Leisure really blew up, I really locked in and watched every episode of Earn Your Leisure, and that kind of helped my mindset, kept going. And then I would start showing my mom the episode. She'd be like, what do you watch? And she started watching, and so like her even having somewhat of an entrepreneur mindset is kind of dope. So she's kind of with the property, with the real estate, we're in it together. So to a certain degree, she has. I think she's a different mindset than she was even like 4 years ago, which is cool.
Wow.
That's dope.
But yeah, I think I get support from both. So
That's what's
I
up.
want to do something like that with my dad, because he bought a house with his first wife and built stuff in it and stuff and all that. So I want to purchase a property and then have him kind of like, you know, like be my maintenance man. type of thing.
Oh, then you gonna put him to work? Be a maintenance man.
Yeah, right.
Just be the owner. You
just
hire the
called him
maintenance
old
man.
as hell.
I know, right?
You just called him
Pop.
old as hell.
Hey, you gotta have a sit down.
He could do it. He's doing it right now. All right, so he'll be all right. He loves those kind of things too. So I'd only be, you know, helping him out.
Oh my goodness, man.
Damn.
Nah, that's crazy, man. Nah, the reason I asked that though is because I know my parents, man. They definitely support. Like they've been supporting everything I've been doing ever since I was here. You know what I'm saying? No matter what it is.
How long has that been? What you mean? What you been?
I mean, you know, it's been a couple decades plus a few years.
So we in
here and
2022.
there. You know what I mean?
What year were you
trying to
born?
figure it out.
It's like a couple decades. You're not 22.
Nah.
30.
30? Yeah, 30.
38.
38?
6.
36?
36. I'm going with 36.
All right, yeah, we'll go with 36.
We
I'm
going-
30.
We about
You are?
Yeah, you was right.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm playing the lottery after this.
I think I deserve half. but
We'll see.
You are the oldest person on there. I thought it was probably the same age. You are a little older than me.
Yeah, but
I'm 28, by the way. Just turned 28.
oh yeah, rub it in. That's all good. But yeah, man, like I can't even say especially because like my mom, she supported everything I do. She even like bought them. She's like purchases stuff from me.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And I ain't gonna lie, like that helps me not feel bad about charging people.
No, that's a fact. That's a fact. I love saying that. Yo, I be like, yo, my mom even. I was like, no, yo, when you say that, I'm like, and this is a fact. And then don't get me wrong. I will give my mom a discount, like a 10%. But sometimes she'll just go on and purchase, and salute to mom. Actually, you know, when we first launched our website, she told all her girlfriends and all that, and we had like between her purchases and then all her friends at her job, it was like $600, $800 worth of merch, which was pretty dope. But nah, you definitely need that. It definitely is a line that I'll put out there. Like, look, my mom even purchased in this, so it's like I can't get this to you for free.
For real. I use that too, and because it's like I can give you discounts, but I can't give you nothing better than what I give my mother. Like that's just got to be a rule of thumb. So be mad at her, she pay full price for something. Like that's, you know what I mean. But my mom always support. My dad definitely always support. My dad is more so like like my mom like tangibly like, you know, buy stuff, try to send business my way type of thing, right? Yeah. My dad is more, he's been like my coach for like my entire life, started with sports, now just kind of in this. He's never been in any kind of like entrepreneurial position, but the fundamentals and like the basics of just good business is really, he has a great way of putting it into sports terms, or like, you know what I'm saying, like bringing it back to bringing it back to, you know, but honestly, like bringing it back to just like, you know, hard work and just like perseverance, and never giving up and making adjustments, and you know what I'm saying, being able to receive criticism, being able to figure out what you need to get better in. Like all of that is all sports.
You know I forgot that I should have said that my dad, he as far as hustle is concerned, like he did, you know, back in the 80s, as like drugs played a lot of people in our community, but he used to abuse drugs and alcohols in the 80s. He cleaned his life up. He got 30-something years clean. Salute to my dad. But in the 90s, he would do bar signs for all, like a bunch of bars in Philly. And so I saw the hustle there. He would clean the church. Like he had a lot of hustle in him. So I guess and somewhat entrepreneurial there. And then even though I never got to meet my paternal grandparents, like I'm finding out history. Like my grandfather owned the store in Louisville on my mom's side. So I was like, well, maybe it's in my blood somewhat. You know what I mean? Stuff
I
like
never
that.
even thought about that. Because my grandfather on my dad's side, he owned a nursing home or something. I didn't even think of that, like entrepreneurial being in my family. But dope. My parents, they my mom works, my dad, he's retired, so yeah.
Is he, or he's maintenance man? He about to bring him out retired?
Yeah, right.
Hey.
She's talking about some he's
just trying to make some money. Yo. Right? He's just trying to make some money. But yeah.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Funny, man.
But, does it make now, Jax? I have a question for both of y'all. So, does it make it even more impactful when you're actually helping other Black businesses? Like you gotta think about it, like content creation, social media, like the impact. You are like a very important piece on whether this business is gonna make it or not, or expand. So, do you ever does that like an additional stake when you're working with a Black-owned business?
Yeah, it definitely isn't taken lightly. Because like I said, you're running like you're the face of the brand almost, right? Your work is the face of the brand. So if you mess it up, you know, like you have to know that you just messed up a Black-owned company and like their reputation. And so that's my take on it.
I feel a few different ways on this because I think sometimes it's a gift and a curse of obviously being Black and wanting to use whatever talents and gifts that that you may have in order to help the people around you, like
Right.
in your own community and culture and stuff like that. But sometimes it's difficult because sometimes they don't see the value in you, or they don't see the value in what you can offer or what you can do for them. And either the byproduct of that is either they just don't end up working with you or choosing you, or they end up kind of like trying to lowball you sometimes. And it makes it difficult because you don't want to necessarily feel like you will position yourself better if you leave your community behind. But sometimes you might put yourself in a disadvantage if you continue to kind of like break your back just to serve your community.
Gotcha.
So
Yep.
it's like a
Catch-22.
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, cause I personally, like, I would love to be a part of elevating, black businesses and black brands from wherever they were when I met them to wherever we about to go to in the future. Like, I would love to be like an important component of that for everyone. But I mean, you can't be that for everyone. You know what I'm saying? Because everyone may not see far into the future like how you may see far into the future, or see that something might be worth this now, even if it might be a little difficult to put it together. But if we do it, like, bro, it's gonna work. Like, it's going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
So it's.
You can only stretch yourself so
Yeah,
thin.
yeah. And I struggle. I ain't gonna lie. Like, I struggle with that. You know what I mean? Because part of me is like, nah, like, we gotta. Because one of the things is black people, like, we really, we actually don't gatekeep enough. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, in terms of, like, nah, I'm gonna let them in. I'm gonna let them in. Or I'm gonna go over there. I'm gonna go over there. Like, we actually don't keep it in house enough as we should. But sometimes that it's probably because when we do try to keep it in house, like, sometimes we try to take advantage of each other.
Yep.
And we give everybody a kind of a bad taste. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I don't know, man. Like, I want to help everybody, but sometimes you gotta kind of like know what's best for you at the same time too.
Gotcha. Nah, man, this was super dope, man. I'm gonna let y'all find out like how people can contact y'all. The Jax, you want to start? Like, how can people get in contact with you on Instagram, your website?
Yeah.
Make sure the graphic pop up.
Yeah.
You doing the editing, so.
Well, yeah, man. Instagram, my personal is Jackson1616, JAXON1616, and the business page, the video page is Not Jax, which is NOT_JAX, and the website is notjaxproductions.com. My entire portfolio is pretty much on the website and also on Instagram. I got some stuff on YouTube. I do a pod. It's called One Mic Stand. So, and you can find me on either one of those pages, though, man. You can check out some of my work, some of the content. And if you want to book me, just hit me up through the DM or email, whatever.
Slide in those DMs.
Yeah.
And for me, real simple. It's just the email right now. So Peart Enterprises LLC @gmail.com. PEART Enterprises LLC @gmail.com.
Dope. And then the find us podcast. You go on @elitism group is the brand. We will relaunch the website, noptodays.com, and then my personal IG @jtaylor36. So I highly appreciate y'all. This is like one of the relaunch episodes in No PTO Days. I definitely, like I told you, the hour was gonna go by quick. And we I appreciate y'all. Thank y'all.
You.
No doubt. Thank you for having me.
All right, cool.